On an evening in the summer, his boss arrives in a little town in California. "I want to stop here tonight," says Kenneth to the bus driver. "Is there a motel? Do you know?" "Yes," says the bus driver. "There's a nice motel across the river. It's not expensive." "Is there a bus to San Francisco tomorrow?" asks Kenny. "Yes," says the bus driver. "There's a bus every day." Kenneth takes off the bus with his bag. On a street in Los Angeles, somebody is robbing a security guard outside a supermarket. The robber is sitting on a motorcycle and has gone. "Give me the money," the robber tells the security guard. Okay, says the security guard, who gives the robber the money. Then the robber rides away, but a camera is taking pictures. After the robbery, the supermarket manager calls the police. "Yes," he says. "A robbery." "Yes, long blonde hair and with a motorcycle." "A man or woman?" "We don't know." "Yes, we have some pictures." "Okay, quickly." Room 23 in the little town 50 kilometers away from Los Angeles. Kenneth goes into the motel and asks for a room. "Room 23, says the man at the desk. He gives Kenneth a key. "Thank you," says Kenneth as he goes up to his room. An hour later, Kenneth comes down to eat. "I'm hungry," he thinks. He sees a girl arrive on a motorcycle. She walks to the front desk, and the woman gives her a key. "Room 17, says the woman at the desk. "I think I know or face Kenneth." "Is she famous?" Burly. The next morning, Kenneth puts on the TV in his room. A news reader talking about the supermarket robbery. There are some pictures from the supermarket camera. Kenneth watches the news. "The robber is somebody with long blonde hair and a motorcycle," says the news reader. Suddenly, Kenneth remembers the girl at the motel desk. Is it her? He thinks. Is she the robber? He goes for breakfast. The girl is eating her breakfast at a table near the window. Kenneth looks at her. Is it her? He thinks. I think I know her, but he walks across to her table. Can I sit here? He asks. The girl looks up. Well, okay, she says. Can he sit down? My name's Kenneth, he says. Pleased to meet you, she says. I'm now. Where are you from? Asks Kenny. San Francisco, says now. I'm going there later this morning. Where are you from? Boston, says Kenneth. I'm going across America by bus. And I'm going to San Francisco later this morning too. Are you? The girl says. I don't like buses. I like motorcycles. Look, excuse me, I need to make a phone call. She gets up and leaves the room. Now the police. A young man near the doors is watching now. Why is he watching her? Kenny, does he know or face you too? Is he thinking she's the girl from the robbery? Kenneth goes to sit next to the young man. Hi, he says. My name is Kenny Mirror. Hi, says the young man. I'm Ned. They begin talking. Can he tell Nan about the news of the robbery on TV? He looks across a mouth. Are you thinking that's the same girl? He asks. Ned looks across at her. I don't know what he says. Perhaps it is. What can we do, says Kenneth. She's leaving soon. Let's call the police. I think it's her. No, man says quickly. Now the police. Wait. Kenneth looks carefully at him. What's the matter? Are you afraid of something? He asks. No, but perhaps she's got a gun, says Ned. Perhaps something is wrong. Is it her? Thanks, Kenny. I want to know whether the money from the robbery is in her room. Kenneth goes upstairs. Suddenly, he sees the girl again. She is coming out of room 17. Kenneth watches her. She locks the door and goes down the stairs. How can I get into her room? He thinks. Then Kenneth sees a woman working in the motel. "Excuse me," says Kenneth. "Can you open the door to my room? My keys are in the car. It's room 17. "Yes, of course," she says. Opens the door to room 17. "Thank you," says Kenneth. And he goes into the room. Kenneth searches the room, but he cannot find the money from the robbery. "Perhaps I'm wrong about her," he thinks. Then he hears somebody opening the door with the key. It's Now. "I must get away." Kenneth runs into the bathroom. A minute later, he hears someone talking on the phone. "My friend says now." "No, I'm at the motel." "No, I'm leaving in an hour." "Yes, okay." Kenneth looks so carefully in the bathroom. He cannot get to the door, but he can get to the window. He moves quickly. No one puts down the phone. Kenneth watches her through the window. "I must get away from here," he thinks. Kenneth cannot go back into room 17, but he can open the window to room 18. "You're the robber." Kenneth climbs into room 18. There's nobody there. He goes across the door, but then he sees something. What's that? He thinks. Is it a wig? It is. It's a blonde wig. Kenneth searches the room. Here's a black motorcycle code, he says to himself. And what's this in this bag? The money from the robbery. Kenny hears somebody coming. He wants to get out of the room, but he cannot. Ned comes into the room. He sees Kenny. "What are you doing in my room?" Then he sees the blonde wig and the money. He looks at Kenneth again. "You know, Ned." "Yes, I know," says Kenny. "You're the Los Angeles supermarket robber." Suddenly, Ned takes a look at his coat. "Don't move," he says. And he takes the bag from Kenneth. "You can't get away," says Kenneth. "Yes, I can say no." He hits Kenneth in the head. And then he locks him in room 18. A minute later, Mela is looking across the river from her room. Suddenly, she sees a man running. What's the matter with him? She thinks. Why is he running? Then she sees Kenneth come out of the next room. That man, says Kenneth. He's the Los Angeles supermarket robber. Stop him, somebody. Ned hears him, and he looks up. Then he gets on his motorcycle and drives off quickly. I can stop him right now. She climbs down from her room. She runs around the motel on a good-weather motorcycle and goes after Ned. Now rides her motorcycle quickly towards the river. When she gets to the river, she jumps across and crosses the river on her motorcycle. Stops in front of Mad. He cannot stop as his motorcycle goes into the river. Help, help. He cries, I can't swim. Some people help keep the net out of the water. More people are coming to the motel. Kenneth runs have crossed the now. Are you okay? He asks her. Yes, I'm okay, she says. Are you all right? Yes, says Kenny. I'm all right. Soon after the police arrive, take that away. Can he tell the policeman his story? Then tells the policewoman a story. Do I know your face? The policewoman asks now. Are you famous? Mel laughs. Perhaps you do, she says. I'm on TV sometimes. Now I remember you. Kenneth says to now. Never Mel Palmer, the famous stunt girl. I see you on Stern Girls USA on TV sometimes. Mel smiles. Yes, that's me, she says. Now, do you want to come to San Francisco on my motorcycle? Or do you want to go to the boss? I'm coming with you, says Kenneth, laughing. And can we go slowly, please?